playoff preview and more. Just bear with me for a minute. Let me get this all shared out, do what I need to do, like I do during the games, but you guys got me on the stick this time. I'm gonna make sure my audio is clear. I'm gonna be loud as shit. Make sure. Alright, we're good there. Alright, let me share this out. We'll take it from there. Alright, here we go. I just want to share this out, then we'll get after it. I expect this, like most of the stuff, to be listened to on a playback. But damn, well, that's all I can say. Damn, what a season. What you guys see on the screen right now for the Lumberjacks, I'm not gonna have the time to do it right now, so I plan on doing it tomorrow afternoon. I'm gonna go on each team that's eliminated from the playoffs and go to your team, because then you're gonna get this screen. This will give those who are not in the playoffs the opportunity to start preparing for the draft. So as you can see from what's on the screen, it is telling the Lumberjacks that their best advisement is they need a right guard, and then they need a right end, they need a defensive tackle, and then on the right hand side you can see the top 3 players ranked at each position that basically the system is telling them is their recommendations. So all the teams that have been eliminated are going to get this information for their team, so they can take that and use that as an opportunity again to prepare going into the draft, because the draft is right around the corner. At the top of there you see the schedule: playoff, wildcard, divisional, then the AFC conference title game is our Dominance Bowl. The Pro Bowl is not a big deal, and then you'll have the actual Super Bowl after it, but the Super Bowl has nothing to do with us, because why? We're playing the NFL teams, and that doesn't matter. So I just want to make sure everybody's aware of how that works. So those games will just get simulated off real quick, and be done and be gone, and then we'll get into the off season. So everyone's aware. We are going to do the playoffs as follows going forward, and I'm going to take this podcast to see what people want to do, and it's going to be real simple. Alright, now when you look at the calendar, the next round of the playoffs are going to take place on the 3rd, July the 3rd. That's Sunday. I'm going to come home. I'm not going to do what I did this week. I'm going to get myself a little bit of sleep, and I'm probably going to set my alarm and start the games either 12 or 1. I'm going to make a full decision on that here soon. I need to do that before I actually go off the air, so you guys know. I'm also going to post it on the boards. Whether you're an owner, a player, a fan, register for the boards at tdflzone.proboards.com. Get in there and be a part of the fun. It's great. I'd love to see fans just show up and, hey, I'm a fan of the league, and just be in there and talk shit for their team that they become a fan of. That'd be freaking great. That'd be hilarious, actually. We can get that going. I'm trying to get in the chat room now. Looks like we got Jackson. Jackson lives here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope he has a great career. He is in the draft. Then you got Ed, owner of the Beats, DOA, owner of the Dreadnoughts. Those two gentlemen were pretty much told, along with Thomas Goodhart, who owns the Black Knights, one of you 3 are going to secure the 7th and final playoff spot, and that's exactly what happened. One of those 3 did indeed clinch the 7th and final spot in the playoffs, and we will get to that here in just a few minutes. But in any case, I'm probably going to go live. Since there's only going to be 3 games, we'll probably go live around 1 o'clock. This way I know I have enough time to come home, get some sleep, get some rest in. So Sunday, 1 o'clock, wait for the first game to take place. That's 1 o'clock Eastern. And then they'll do like we always do, one right after the other. Now here's where the voting can come in, and that is in the month of July. We'll see what people say here today. We can go to the divisional round playoffs on the 10th. So on the 10th, we'll have 2 games. And then somewhere between the 17th and the 23rd, I will be on vacation from work. And here's the news. I have not told anybody yet. And that is between the 17th and 23rd, since I will be on vacation, I am going to plan the Dominance Bowl around my wife's work schedule, and when that game goes live, I personally will be calling the game. I'll be turning off the commentary in the game, and I will be doing it to the best of my ability, and it's not going to be great, but it's going to make it more interesting. So I'm going to be doing the commentary myself for the Dominance Bowl, somewhere between the 17th and 23rd, based off whatever her schedule may be. So hopefully it works out for everybody, and hopefully we can do it Sunday or Monday, the 17th or the 18th, like we've been doing games. So I'm hoping that's a nice little touch that people will be excited about. But to get to my point of what I was going to say, I can do the divisional playoffs on the 4th, and then we wait 2 weeks for the championship, or we do the wild card on the 3rd and wait for the divisional games on the 10th. For anybody who's here, you can debate it in the chat. It says we got 5 here, so I would love to see 5 responses. I'd like to see 5 people respond and tell me precisely which one. 3rd, 4th, or 3rd, 10th is basically what I'm looking for. So obviously, 3rd, 10th means on the 3rd, and then do the divisional games on the 10th, or 3rd, 4th. That'd be wild card and divisional, and then back to back. So I would love to see that. So, like I said, the more information we get, the better, because it improves the league. And I go through you guys, because without you guys, we don't have a league. So that's what I'm hoping we get. So hopefully, like I said, we'll see some responses then, or whatever, and we'll take it from there. Thank you, Mark. Mark just said 3rd, 10th. He would like to do the 30 games, then wait for the divisional game the following week. So right now, that's winning. That'll be the rule. That'll be the stipulation, or so far. That's the direction in which we will go. And he's the only one that votes. Mark will have decided it for us. Oh, CJ saying the same thing. The 3rd and the 10th. So that's 2 votes. Jackson's entitled to vote. Ed's voted. 3-10. I like it. So we'll take it from there. Also, I want to say we have the first round decided as far as the draft order. Some of the picks will change based off the results of the playoffs. But we know the first 9 picks, they cannot change. The first 9 picks cannot change, because those are the teams that are eliminated from the playoffs, and I will be getting to that in here in just a second. I'm going to do that first. I'm going to let you guys know that first. It's 4-0 now in favor of doing the games on the 3rd and the 10th of July as opposed to the 3rd and the 4th. So I like it. It's got 7 people watching, so there's still 3 more people can throw in votes if they wish. But I'm going to get into the draft picks really quick, just so you guys know. So if you just want to write this down, get a pen and paper now. I'll give you a moment if you want to write it down. These picks cannot change. This is the order. The only way this changes is if these draft picks get traded before the draft. The first 9. And then I will read you the bottom 7 based off, obviously, current record. But the bottom 7 of the teams still in the playoffs. So for those of you completely unaware of how the draft's going to work, and since we use Madden, it's going to be NFL rules. Whatever team has the worst record that gets eliminated in the first round would end up with the 10th pick. Then the next one would be the 11th, and then the 12th, based off the 3 losing teams that come out of the wild card. That's how that's going to work. And then the same thing with the divisional. Worst record gets next to the championship. So this will be, like I said, the draft order. These are your first 9 picks, and if it's a traded pick, I will tell you who they got the pick from as well. So here's how it's going to go, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully you guys got your pen and paper if you want to write this down. But getting the number 1 pick in the 2032 draft, that's right, 2032, because we simulated 10 seasons, will be the team on your screen. The Portland Lumberjacks officially get the number 1 overall pick, and it is their own pick, so they will be picking first. Picking number 2 in the draft will be the Orlando Sentinels, and I want to make this mention here live on the air for those of you who are unaware of it. The Orlando Sentinels, it's pretty much 80% going to happen. We will be looking for new ownership of the Orlando Sentinels. So if you know somebody who wants to join the league and take over a team, because you're already an owner, let them know. If you are going to be a player in this league but also interested in ownership, you may do that. Owner application information is on the website, the tdflzone.weebly.com. Go there, grab the information, and do as it's instructed, and get it to me. It is all on there. The more information you can put together, the better. I will also tell the people who are putting together the applications to, honestly, when you do that, get on the boards, be active, be involved, because the current owners are the ones that are going to make the vote. They're the ones who are going to decide. I will present all the applications that come in. Currently, I have 3 applications for ownerships. I know who 2 of them are. The one is just somebody that not a part of the league at all, but I have the application. But I'm going to present it to them, and they're going to determine who they want to join their ownership ranks with them. And activity is going to be a key when it comes to that. As much information as you can provide as to why you should be the guy or the girl is also going to be involved. So like I said, on the website, it tells you straight up, let us know your name, your age, your football knowledge, and reasons why we should accept you as a league owner, and get it to us at tdflzone@gmail.com. So that pick, number 2 overall, could be yours if you become an owner in the TDFL. Now moving on to the 3rd pick. This pick originally belonged to the Austin Desperados. It now belongs to the Portland Lumberjacks. And the Lumberjacks now have the 1st and 3rd overall picks in the draft. The vote will be before the draft, Jackson, before the offseason starts. Keiko's making the decision sooner than later. He's just trying to figure out all the particulars with his job. I don't know if you caught it in the game, but he's getting on a boat, and he's going to be basically exploring, learning, and following whales and sharks and things. And I'm jealous as hell because I'd love to do that, but he's going to be a part of that. And he doesn't think he's going to have the time to dedicate as an owner, so he plans on at least making a player and being involved in the league that way and being around as much as possible. But the ownership vote has to take place before the offseason, so the new owner can be a part of the offseason. So the new vote's probably going to take place in about 2 to 4 weeks, depending on what the offseason schedule looks like. All right, now with the 4th pick, it'll be the Chicago Tigers. The 5th pick belongs to the Elks. So there you go, Mr. Mark. I know you're in the draft or in the chat. You've got the 5th pick. Said 5th pick, boo. So to recap real quick, the top 5: Lumberjacks, Sentinels, Lumberjacks, Tigers, and the Elks. The 6th overall pick belongs to San Antonio Dreadnoughts, who acquired this pick from the Bulldogs. So they got that pick from the Bulldogs. With the 7th pick, it is the Columbus Aviators. Here we go. The 8th pick currently belongs to the Black Knights. Now, if that tells you anything, you now know the Black Knights are not in the playoffs. So now we get to the 9th pick and the potential playoff game. So whatever team has the 9th pick, the other team's made the playoffs. So instead of announcing who's got the 9th overall pick, I will tell you right now, the number 2 seeded Sacramento Condors will be at home facing the number 7 seed San Antonio Dreadnoughts. The Beats will have the 8th overall pick, and unfortunately they traded that pick away, and it goes to the Thunderbirds. So the Thunderbirds get that pick. So that's how that came down. Now I did the information, and I will show you guys this because I want everybody to see. It's the only explanation I have as to what happened, because I do not know how the tiebreak took place. Right here, we'll get down. Okay, I'm going to put them 2 at the top of the screen. There you go. Dreadnoughts and Beats are at the top of your screen. You will see they're both 11 and 6. When we scroll over here, obviously, when you get to the division, it really don't matter, but they're both 2 and 4 in their own divisions. Getting to the conference against the NFC, you'll see they're both 5 and 0 because we obviously submitted those games to automatically win. And then the AFC games, they're 6 and 6. So everything was a tie. They didn't play. So I was like, what's next? The only thing that made sense to me was points scored. And if you look at the points scored, the Dreadnoughts got 449 to the Beats 376. To me, that must have been the tiebreaker. I don't know. I don't know if it was strength of schedule, and if it was strength of schedule, I sure as hell didn't take the time to figure that all out. But the Dreadnoughts got it, and I'm assuming it's based off the points. So we have two teams that went 11-6. Beats and Black Knights missed the playoffs. Bulldogs and Elks also with 10-win seasons, missing the playoffs. And then you got the Aviators and Tigers finishing the season with winning records, also missing the playoffs. So now it takes me to the games, and I'll go in here and we'll bring it up, the playoff picture, so you guys can actually see it. Who's going to be playing who? And then I'm going to break some of this down for you so you guys can see what's coming, because it's going to be very interesting. But here you go. Remember, we ignore the NFC. We have nothing to do with it. It's all about the AFC side. The number 1 seed is the Steamers. They're going to get the bye week. You got the number 2 Condors home against the number 7 Dreadnoughts. The number 3 Thunderbirds are going to be at home against the number 6 Aftershocks. And the Nighthawks will be home hosting the Gunners in their 3rd match of the season. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to go from the top, and we're going to work our way down. And let's talk about this here quick. The Condors and the Dreadnoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Coming into this game, I found it very interesting that the Dreadnoughts have scored the most points in the season than anybody. And then it was the Condors at number 2. 449 points to 440 points. The 2 top scoring offenses, but defensively points allowed. The Dreadnoughts have given up 362, and the Condors have only given up 228 points. Huge difference there. So that tells us one thing right there. Both teams can score, but the Condors seem to stop things a little bit better. When it comes to offense, the Dreadnoughts enter the game the 2nd offense in the league overall. The Condors will come in with the 4th best offense. Passing offense, the Dreadnoughts are number 2, and the Condors are 12th. And with the rush, the Dreadnoughts are 11th, and the Condors are 1st. So it's pretty even when you think about it. One's a passing team, one's a running team, obviously. But you got the number 1 rushing team and the number 2 passing team in this one. Defensively, the Dreadnoughts are 14th overall in the league in defense. That's not good. But you know the old saying, defense wins championships. Well, they're 14th out of 16 in overall defense, and the Condors come in 1st. They're the number 1 defense in the league. The Dreadnoughts are 15th against the pass. The Condors are 2nd. But here's the fun stat. I just said the Condors are a rushing team. Well, the Dreadnoughts are number 2 in the league against the run. But the Condors are 1st. So you got the number 1 and number 2 ranked overall defenses in this game. So it might be a pass-happy game. So we'll see how that goes. And if it comes down to that, Dreadnoughts are 15th out of 16. Sacks now. The Dreadnoughts come in with the 14th most sacks in the league at 54. The Condors come in 1st. Get the load of this number, ladies and gentlemen. The Condors are 1st in the league in overall sacks with 89. 89 sacks in 17 games is absolutely redonkulous. When it comes to the interceptions, they're very close. The Dreadnoughts are ranked 7th with 16. The Condors are 6th with 17. The hell? No, never mind, I had a message. Anyway, passing touchdowns. The Dreadnoughts are 4th in the league, 7th, and in rushing touchdowns, the Condors are 1st, with the Dreadnoughts being 8th. Now, I also want to mention this when it comes to the rushing yards allowed. The Condors are the only team in the league that did not give up 1,000 yards in rushing. They gave up 986. They did not give up 1,000 rushing yards as a whole all season. Everybody else did. So I thought that was an interesting stat. And I also want to point out that, ladies and gentlemen, while we just mentioned these things, and the Dreadnoughts are on a one-game winning streak, so you know, Condors are on a 6-game winning streak. The Condors' 6-game winning streak started after their Week 11 loss to the Dreadnoughts, 36-30. So these two teams obviously met already. The Dreadnoughts got the better of them, 36-6. So this is a rematch. Every one of these games is a rematch. 36-6, and you see Ed, he's very disappointed. The beats missed. It has to suck going 11 wins and missing the playoffs, so I can't imagine. But this here's going to be a very interesting contest, I think, between these two teams. But now we're going to move on to the next one. The Thunderbirds and the Aftershocks come in the 6th seed and the 3rd seed. When they come into this game, the Aftershocks come in on a 2-game winning streak. The Thunderbirds come in on a 1-loss streak, losing to the Steamers after winning 12 in a row, so don't forget that part. Now, when it comes to the points, the Aftershocks have scored 420, the Thunderbirds 387. The Aftershocks have given up 316, the Thunderbirds 263. So the Thunderbirds score less, give up less. The Aftershocks can score more points, but they give up more points. You know what that means. The Thunderbirds, if it's a close game, they're going to have the advantage based off these numbers. All right, when it comes to total offense, the Aftershocks are the 7th best offense in the league, and the Thunderbirds, ladies and gentlemen, are only 12th. That was a shock. I didn't realize that's how low they were, considering I thought their offense was doing really well. To be 12th was a stunner. I was like, well, damn. Passing-wise, Aftershocks are also 7th. But the Thunderbirds are 3rd. This might explain why Lil Dwayner is in love with Reddick. I give him the shit about Reddick, about cutting him or trading him, and he always yells at me, no, that's my guy, that's my guy. Well, maybe that's why. 3rd in the league in passing, despite having the 12th overall total offense. And now rushing, Aftershocks again, 7th. They're 7th across the board. And this is where the Thunderbirds struggle. They're 15th in rushing, which is the reason why they're 12th overall in total offense. So, right there's a little key to the Thunderbirds they'll keep in mind when it comes to the offseason. Maybe improving the running game. We'll have to wait and see. Defensively now, the Aftershocks have the 3rd best defense. The Thunderbirds are 10th. Against the pass, the Aftershocks are 5th, the Thunderbirds are 8th. And against the rush, the Aftershocks are 9th, and the Thunderbirds are 8th. And I found that weird. You can be 8th and 8th, but overall 10th. Very interesting. And then you're 5 and 9, but yet you can be 3rd. It's just very weird how that worked out. But that's how it goes. When it comes to sacks, the Aftershocks are 7th in the league with 62 total sacks. And this is the number 2 sack defense now in the Thunderbirds. They have 79. And if you remember earlier, I said Condors are 1st with 89. Number 2 has 10 less with 79. And it ain't nothing to sneeze at, because if I can get 79 sacks in 17 games, let's go. So they get after the quarterback as well. Interceptions. The Aftershocks are 5th in the league with 19. The Thunderbirds are 12th with 12. And I made a mention of this several times during the game against the Steamers. They have 2 rookie corners. Think about that too, ladies and gentlemen. 2 rookie corners. But they finished 8th against the pass. Still have 12 sacks. And these guys are learning. And that's one thing I was telling Ed about Dwayne's team. And Dwayne's Ed's son, in case you guys don't realize that. This team could be nasty going forward. Just keep that in mind. All right. Passing touchdowns. The Aftershocks are 6th in the league, had 26 passing touchdowns. And the Thunderbirds are 3rd in passing touchdowns. When it comes to the rushing touchdowns, the Aftershocks were 7th in the league, and the Thunderbirds were 11th in the league. So they outdid them in both areas. And this game, ladies and gentlemen, is a Week 9 rematch that ended 20-2. That's right, 2. A safety is all the Aftershocks could muster, and the Thunderbirds were able to defeat them 20-2. So it's going to be a nice little rematch here between these two. And now the 3rd and final game of the playoffs in the opening round of the wild card picture comes down to number 4 against number 5, and you would assume this would make it the most interesting because they're the closest. Coming into this game, listen to these numbers because there's a lot of things that I liked here. You've got 343 points scored by the Gunners to 394 for the Nighthawks. It's 50 difference. I know that's a lot, but it's not when you compare to the other 2 games. Points allowed, 264 for the Gunners, 280 for the Nighthawks. Pretty close. When it comes to total offense, the Gunners are ranked 11th. The Nighthawks are 5th. When it comes to total passing yards, The Gunners have the 13th passing offense, the Nighthawks 10th. So neither team's the greatest at passing. When it comes to rushing, the Gunners are 4th, and the Nighthawks are 3rd. So you have the 3rd and 4th best running teams here in this game. And I want to mention right now, 3 of the top 4 running teams made the playoffs. So I don't know if that tells us anything, because when it comes to the passing game, you got the 2 and the 3, and everything else is really, really deep in the stats. Sorry about that. Speak to my daughter for a second. So you got the 4th and 3rd rushing, like I said. Now total defense. When it comes to total defense, the Gunners are 2nd. I didn't realize the Gunners were that high, if you will, even though it's number 2. They're the 2nd best overall defense in all of the TDFL. And the Nighthawks are 11th. So they're kind of buried down the list. The Gunners are the number 1 pass defense in the league. Nighthawks are 14th. And against the rush, the Gunners are 5th and the Nighthawks are 10th. What's going on, James? So right there's a big discrepancy when it comes to defenses. The offenses, defense is a big thing. When it comes to sacks, Gunners have the 3rd most sacks in the league with 76. And the Nighthawks were 10th with 58. When it comes to interceptions, the Nighthawks only have 12, and which put them at 12. Only 12 in 17 games. The Gunners somehow only had 16, even though they're the number 1 ranked defense against the pass. And finished 7th. Then when it comes to the passing touchdowns, the Gunners are 15th with 19 overall. Nighthawks are 13th with 21 overall. When it comes to the rushing touchdowns, it's 13th with 13 for the Gunners, and the Nighthawks are 3rd with 18 rushing touchdowns. And this, like I said, is the 3rd meeting. This is the 3rd meeting between these teams, because they already met in Week 8 and Week 11. And listen to these scores, ladies and gentlemen. Week 8, 13-12, the Nighthawks won. 13-12, the Nighthawks won. And in Week 11, 23-20, the Nighthawks won again. So the Nighthawks have already beaten them twice by a combined 4 points. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is clearly going to be the game of the week out of the 3 for that reason. That reason. You got another team that was 20-2, and the other one's 36-30. That's 6 points. The Dreadnoughts won by 6 points in one game, and these two have separated by 4 total points in 2 games. It's clearly going to be the game of the week. We'll kick off first. It'll be the first game we get, like I said, roughly 1 o'clock Eastern Time on Sunday, July the 3rd, and then we'll run them all. But holy shit. Alright, now, ladies and gentlemen, I got you here. We got 9 watching. Look at that playoff bracket. Let's make a prediction. We'll go game by game. I want everybody to chip in and give me your honest opinion. Condors, Dreadnoughts. Who is going to win? Condors, Dreadnoughts. Oh, we already got 2 votes for the Condors. Remember, 3, and remember the Dreadnoughts beat them 36-30, so I find this interesting, but based off down the stretch, the Condors have been just as hot as anybody, so I get it. See what else anybody says. Another vote for the Condors. Damn. Obviously, DOA is not going to vote. It's his game, so he's trying to be impartial here. All right, if the Condors win, the Condors obviously would drop down at the Saturday 4:35 game because they would be the number 2 seed. Even the winner's picking the Condors. Based off the fact we only got 6 and we already got, 5 votes? So the Condors are going to get the win based off the room's predictions. All right, going to the next game, ladies and gentlemen, right here. You've got the Thunderbirds and the Aftershocks. Because like I said, right here is where the Condors are going to go with a win. Who wins this one? Thunderbirds and Aftershocks. We got a vote for the Aftershocks. We got 3 for the T-Birds. He said in a blowout. Damn. Don't give the Aftershocks any opportunity to win. They're a blowout. Dwayne's not voting. It's his team. We'll see if CJ's around to vote. He may have already left the damn room. We'll find out. Let me do the app. Yeah, he's here. Hey. I know he's on a little bit of a delay, more than most people. That's why I'm trying to give him a second. But even if he picks the Aftershocks, it's 3-2 of everybody that's here. So you know what? That means the Thunderbirds are going to win the overall voting. That puts the Thunderbirds, right here. Because whoever wins this game is going to be the lowest seed, and they're going to go right here with the Steamers. So you guys, ladies and gentlemen, have now picked the Condors and the Thunderbirds for next week, in 2 weeks. So, just so you know. Now, let's go to the last game. The Nighthawks and the Gunners. The Nighthawks and the Gunners. Who's going to win and get the opportunity to play the Steamers based off the current votes? Got Gunners, Hawks, Gunners. And remember, the Hawks have already beaten them twice. There's 3 votes for the Gunners. And the Gunners do come in on a 6-game winning streak. Their last loss was to the Nighthawks, 23-20. Damn, game ends on a pick 6. I swear to God, if that happened, I'd be cracking the fuck up. Can you imagine? It's tie, 21-21. And the freaking Nighthawks are close enough just to toss up a Hail Mary, take a shot, and it gets picked for a return. That's the clock hits 0. That'd be interesting. Alright, y'all. So you now have what you are telling me is high seed wins. High seed wins. Now we get the low seed win. That'd be interesting. Holy shit. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you this right here, right now. Obviously, it's going to be an already pick of Gunners based off what you said, but I was going to save this question because honestly, I expected you to pick the Condors. I expected you to pick the Thunderbirds, and quite frankly, I thought you were going to pick the Nighthawks. I thought it was going to be a birds. I thought that's what it was going to be because I was going to be like, birds. I have no idea why I'm doing this, but I just did. I thought all 3 birds were going to get picked to be the favorites. But I was wrong. Which my next question was going to be, of all the underdogs, who was going to win? I asked everybody, CJ, who was going to win each game. Nobody picked the game they're a part of. But the Condors ran away with the voting against the Dreadnoughts, which you would not pick in. Then it was the Thunderbirds, Aftershocks, which you could pick. And then the Nighthawks and the Gunners. But anyway, as again, my question was going to be, which underdog team has the best chance at winning? Clearly it's the Gunners, because you even picked them to fucking win. So now I'm going to take you to this question. This is going to be a very interesting, fun question, because it says we got 7 watching. Of all 7 teams in the playoffs, make your prediction now. Who wins the championship? Who's winning the championship out of all 7 teams? I gotta see this. I'll put everybody on the spot right now. We got 1 vote for the Gunners. Holy shit, he's taking the Gunners to win it all. Condors by Jackson. I gotta say, CJ's living on the edge with that Gunner pick. I love it. Another Condor pick by James. It'll be dropping 2 teams in a minute, I'm sure. because it'll be his vote and Dwayne's pick. Mark going with the Steamers. Living on the edge, are you, Mark? I mean, I guess you're living on the edge in your personal life, but nobody picked the Dreadnoughts to win, so you know. Everybody picked the Condors to beat you. Ed's picking the Thunderbirds to win. And who's Dwayner taking? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you right now, whoever Dwayner picks, listen, because for some reason this kid gets a lot of shit right and doesn't forget anything. I don't even know if the kid's human. But yeah, he'll make a prediction. And we'll have to listen very carefully. He picked himself. What the hell? Alright, fair enough. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to make this mention as well. Right here in this game could be very well the last time the league has a Lemmy. Everybody knows what happened to Jason Lemmy. May he rest in peace. His son has taken over the team for the rest of the season. Finished off what his dad started and got this team in the playoffs. Quite frankly, I'm honestly happy about that. I was hoping it would happen because I really think that's where Jason was taking the team. I really think Jason was going to get them there. So it's nice to see they made it, and I don't think any of you are disagreeing with that. I think every one of you here is happy that that happened. So with that being said, James he's still on the fence whether or not he can do this long term. He's been doing it temporarily for the benefit of paying homage to his father, just to run through the season and take it from there. He's not sure afterwards. So if that happens, this team will also need a new owner along with the Sentinels if Keiko steps away. Like I said, when it comes to Keiko, it's pretty much 80% sure it's going to happen. But Keiko, again, will be here. He'll be here as a player. So don't forget that. He's still going to be en route. He just doesn't have the time for the day-to-day operations. So once I get the applications in, here's what's going to happen. Assume both teams open up for those of you who are interested in ownership that are here or hear the playback. We're going to put all the applications in, and I will submit the applications to all the other owners and then let a vote take place. Say we get 5 apps, 2 teams. The two people that get the most appreciation and the most love, those two would get first dibs, so to speak. So let's just say, you know, and right here I see James Sargent saying that he would like an opportunity to rejoin. The only thing that's stopping him is his fellow owner saying no. All he's got to do is put the application in, present it just like everybody else, and if he's accepted, he's accepted. So let's just say he puts in for a team, and since Jackson's always here, I'm going to say he puts in for a team. Those two are the winners. You know, say Jackson ends up with the quote-unquote most votes of a yes compared to James. I will go to Jackson and say, okay, you were the number one guy. You're the guy they trusted the most or wanted the most, however you want to word it. You may pick, and that's how it's going to happen. He's going to then get the opportunity to pick between the Aftershocks and the Sentinels to be his team, and then the other owner would then get the other team by default. That's how it's going to happen. That's going to be his reward and his prize for getting the most acceptance by the other owners, is by getting the most votes. If it's an even type of thing, say they both get the even amount of love and there's no separation, well, I'm going to go live through my cell phone spinning a wheel. And when I spin the wheel, it's going to have both owners on it. Or not both owners, both teams on it. And both owners is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 2 different wheels. I'll spin the wheel, and whichever owner I land on will then spin the team wheel. And whatever other team I spin on, it'll be them. But can buy. Wait, that's okay. Everybody who didn't pick me when I win it all, you can buy Lana kiss my ass, except for Mark. He can't do that at all. Well, Mark don't want to kiss your ass. He wants to suck your dick. Anyway, hope that all made sense to you guys, and that's how we're going to do it. So like I said, in an event of a tie, we'll spin the wheel. This guy or girl gets to land, then we'll spin the team, boom. And that'll be your team by default. You don't get to pick, you get the luck of the draw. But if we have that clear-cut pick, and well, oh my God, Mark, you need to go take a nap or something. That is crazy. He said maybe. Oh my God. He's out of control. But that's that. It's the best information I can give you. This is the best details I can give you. But anyway, drafts around the corner. If you're not a member of the league, we're taking applications to be in the league as a player. TDFLzone.weebly.com. It's all right there for everybody to know. TDFLzone.weebly.com. It's in the description if anybody needs it. And I watched the track within the window. Oh, look. This is, I'm about to say it. I see that James even asked for it. Jeez. Oh, shit. I can't even type today. And then, like I said, make sure you're on the boards. The one thing that's going to be very, very, very important to any owner is activity. The league is super active. The league is super involved. There's stuff always happening. The off season is going to be insane. It's going to be madness. People are going to want to make trades. People are going to want this. People are going to be one of that. And you might not want to make any moves, but at least be available. You know, to say no is basically what it comes down to. This past last off season, oh my goodness. And the Lumberjacks, remember, they're picking first and third in the draft. First and third. And I will say this, if you guys remember Price, the wide receiver that the Dreadnoughts picked up, he gave up that third pick to get him. I still say it's a good trade for the Dreadnoughts, because he got a wide receiver who's almost a 90 now for what would be a mystery pick, because you don't never know what you're going to get. But we need to get more owners in here, possibly, and we definitely need to get more human players. So if you have a brother, a sister, tell them to join. A cousin, get them in. Tell your parents. Call a dead relative. Whoever you got to get a hold of. Tell them all about the TDFL. Get them in here. Let's have some fun. Well, it would be freaking awesome for one of you people one day to upload a video where you're sitting on your couch surrounded by your family watching a TDFL game on the TV because you're all players somewhere in the league and just having a good old time. That'd be freaking hilariously great. So, anyway, I'm going to wrap this up because I only wanted to do this for about 20-25 minutes, but I didn't realize how long it was going to take me to cover everything. And I really didn't go on and on about anything either. 45 minutes in. Again, hell of a season. Now it's playoff time, ladies and gentlemen. You're looking at it. These are the games that are going to take place. That one right there. Nighthawks and Gunners is going to kick us off Sunday at 1 o'clock. I don't know which one of these will be the second game, but I'll figure it out. But all three games take place this Sunday. 1 o'clock's the first game, so you know the second game is going to be around 2:15. And the third game is probably going to kick off around 3:15, 3:30. And then we'll go to July the 10th, where the winners will play in these two games. And then somewhere right here in the AFC Championship, based off what you see, is technically the Dominance Bowl, where the teams are going to compete for the Simbardi Trophy. That's right, the Simbardi Trophy. That will take place anywhere between July the 17th, which is a Sunday, to July 23rd, which is Saturday. In that window somewhere, I personally will be sitting down and calling that game. My birthday is right smack dab in the middle on the 20th. So if the only way I can do it is on my own birthday, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call the game. We're going to get a champion. Once the championship is over, I want owners to remember this. Once the championship is over, I'm going to go back to this page so you guys can see it at the top of your screen. It says Pro Bowl. We're just simulating through that. No one gives a shit. And we're simulating through what is supposedly the Super Bowl because no one gives a shit. Then we're going to get into that off-season. Once the off-season window pops up, any movement that needs to be made with current roster players will be done almost immediately. Then I'm going to give each team a week to scout. to study, to prepare for the draft. The draft will take place live. I want everybody to understand that. It will take place live, and it will be some time. Because after every pick, I'm going to have to do this. Options, user teams, and then it's going to see what it does. It lags and it gets slow for me. Then I got to go like this and get to the next team and say, okay, grab this team. All right, we're going to do this. And I also will need to go through each team like I said I was going to do. So I'll do that here in a moment. Then this team would come up, and then I got to go click it and get the next pick. And that's what we're going to have to keep doing with each and every single freaking team, including the NFL teams. Remember, the NFL teams, I'm going to click on them, and I'm taking the last guy on the board. They're always going to get the weakest guy available, supposedly. So that's how that's going to go. But the draft's going to be live, so all my owners, please have your draft boards together. And if you can't make it live, you're going to have to send me what you want to do. So once we go through playoff, Pro Bowl, Super Bowl, I will have a decision made by our owners by then to who the new owners are if they're needed. And I still say if, because Keiko could end up getting back to me and say, you know what, I can stay. Let me make it back to me and say, you know what, I'm keeping the team from my dad. Boom, good, we don't need anybody. Those ownership applications will then be kept for the next year just in case. But if not, and we got to get you signed up and hired, we're going to be determined probably within 24 to 48 hours of that off season being done, so I can get you in place. And then you're going to probably get like a week, not even, to determine your team, so we can get into the off season, because there's a lot of work I'm going to do, and I'm going to need as many days as possible to get it all organized before we get to the draft. So teams are going to have to cut who they want to cut. You're going to be able to trade players, add draft picks, move picks for picks, whatever you want to do. It's all going to be available before the actual draft. And then when we're going to get into the draft, it's a live picking. If you're not there to pick live, you're going to get a default player. The default player being whoever's the number one guy on the board. I will give you that much. So let's just say, for example, Mark, I know you're here, and I'm not going to use you as the example, but if you're here and if you're not here that night and you don't pick, whoever's the number one guy on the board, regardless of position, he will go to your team. So whoever's the top guy, you automatically get him by default, because that's what the game would do for you defaultly. Even when you do like fantasy drafting, if you don't show up in fantasy draft, the game gives you the number one guy, even if you don't need him. That's what happens, and that's how we're going to do it. Simple as that. Alright, so I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go team by team in alphabetical order. And I'm not going to sit on them forever. You guys can hit pause when your team comes up. Well, I shouldn't say alphabetical order, but in the order of going down this list. For the teams who are not in the playoffs. So these owners can write down this information of their team. So Mark, you get the first shot up. There you go. And this is your information and your recommendations. And pay attention to it. It shows you your current available salary cap. You currently have 63 at 53 rosters, because we do have a practice squad. None of us thought about the practice squad all year, so your practice squad members have just been moved over to your main roster because your season's over. No harm, no foul. You see your team ranks. Remember, those numbers do not represent just the AFC. They represent the entire NFL. So even though it says 16th, that doesn't mean you're last. It means you're 16 out of 32. And then on the right, like I said, shows you the number one ranked guy at the three positions that they're recommending for you. So they're saying get a left end, Danger Moon is your guy. They're saying get a right end, Danger Moon again is your guy, meaning he can play either side. Then you have Marion Foster, Kyle Warner, which kind of sucks for you, Mark, because you're only getting to scout one fucking position. That's defensive end with your top two. Then right tackle is telling you to take Nate Winslow. Then you got Brody Dodson, and Mark Clements. So there's that information. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. And all you owners that have players that you can upgrade, we'll get to that this week. Because even though you're out of the playoffs, you can still do your player upgrading and all that other shit. All right. I'll show you this real quick. Since the Steamers are in the playoffs, this is what it shows for teams still active. So you're aware. So in case the guys still in the playoffs go, what about me? Look, it shows you your needs. Because I was just kidding. I want to do everybody. because the playoff game doesn't change it. This is what you got. I find that insane that it says D, wide receiver, when their number 1 and number 2 wide receivers are freaking X Factors. Also recommending Danger Moon. Danger Moon's obviously the highest ranked defensive end. That's why he keeps getting recommended. And there's Winslow again at tackle. Lucius West, DW6 Killer, and Tyrone Goodspeed. All human players. And you see where they're ranked. 1, 2, 3, but total 4, 5, 15. In case you aren't aware of that, that means the overall number. Tyrone Goodspeed's ranked 15th, supposedly, on the boards. Lucius is 4. Kyle Warner at end is supposed to be the 50th best guy, where Danger Moon is 11. That's a big drop-off if you need an end. Wide receivers is not so bad. All right, I'm going to move to the next team. I've got 14 to go to do this, then I can get off the air. But this is allowing everybody to start preparing. And if you guys want to scout players, we can scout players. I'm not going here with Lady Faye's team because I was sitting on them the whole time, so she can look at that. Going to the Black Knights. The Black Knights. Also do realize the Bulldogs. It made me think of the Bulldogs because of London. The Bulldog seasons are done. They are no longer the London Bulldogs. They are freaking relocating to St. Louis and becoming the St. Louis Bulldogs effective next season. So that's that. And here you go with the Black Knights. Their recommendation is corner and a left guard. So now we're seeing names we haven't seen yet. Elvis Newman, Ray Lavender, Bill Pierce, Carl Washington, Greg Zimmer, Gordon Porter. Why did I read that from the bottom up? I don't freaking know. But this is the future of the league, and look at that cap space. Remember your cap space. It's very, very important, especially when it comes to wanting to cut players. Some of you might need to free up space. Yeah. I know me and Ed were talking and discussing, you know, what he needs to or not needs to do the other day. It's never too late to start scouting. It's never too late to start figuring out your space. You know, instead of cutting a guy, maybe you can trade him first. So you might not want to cut a guy right away. If you know you ain't going to get nothing for him, then cut him. Now back onto the beats, because I'm pretty sure Ed was able to see this, but I want to be here. Look at that cap space for the beats. Only 41.5, because he has taken the time to sign most of his team. Because he said, hey, I was good enough to go to 11-7. Why would I not keep my 11-6? Excuse me. Why would I not keep most of them? Makes sense. I thought you didn't have to practice a team. Okay, then. Where the hell did he get that information? I have no fucking clue. Teams that are eliminated do not have practice. Like, I'm going to look here real quick. Since the Steamers are in the playoffs. No. I want to get to an actual team. When I get to it, I'll get to it. The hell with this. Moving on to the Tigers. Jesus Christ. Like here, they have 65 of 53 players. Clearly, they're going to have to cut some guys when many of you have draft picks to do. Damn, safety is their number one need. Interesting. I'm noticing a lot of teams need linemen. All right, going to the next one. Here we go, Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds are in the playoffs, but you can see what they're recommending for them a while. Although theirs might be a game. Because they have a game up. Yep, see, there shows the game because they actually have a game. Steamers do not, so they could see what they needed. And right here, weekly strategy, because you're still playing. If you're not playing, that's gone. So this is an advantage some of these teams get that are still in the playoffs. Because now you get an extra week to practice your players. If you win, you get another week. If you win again, you get a third week. So you have 3 extra weeks, as opposed to the teams that have already been eliminated to do 0. To improve your team. Alright, moving on to the next team. Condors. I'm still going to click on them just so you can see it is exactly the same thing. Plus, it gives them an opportunity to kind of look at their team against their opponent. There they are against the Dreadnoughts. On paper, it's kind of even. Dreadnoughts are 2 better offensively. Condors are 2 better defensively, and they're equally at 84. So I find that fun. Alright, on to the next. I'm stupid when it comes to this. I want to mention this right now in the chat room, see if anybody knows the answer. When do they shut down the year-end awards? Is it already? I'm assuming it's already, and they don't worry about the playoff games. There we go with the Sentinels. This is a team that could need an owner. They have $108 million in cap space. It says they need defense, defense, defense. Look at that shit. Defense across the board. Danger Moon is a human player. Will Blackheart is a human player. Greg Thomas is a human player. So, wow. Everybody they recommended is ranked 50th or higher, too. Wow. And they get the 2nd overall pick, so they're going to be able to land something good here for sure. These teams have an opportunity to improve. And look at those numbers. 88, 86, 86, and it just didn't work out. Very interesting. By the way, if you know me or Ed well enough, you'll know for some reason we both say very interesting a lot. Aftershocks. What do you say? Awards only count regular. That's what I thought. Because if they did, the voting should be done. Because if the voting's done, I'm willing to go in there and look at that too really fast. I'm assuming, that's what I was assuming. Yeah, you're right. If you didn't make the playoffs, if you make the playoffs, you do. Again, we're on the Aftershocks. Aftershocks made it. Boom! There's their weekly strategy. Because they're playing the Thunderbirds. They got to prepare for their playoff game. Why would you prepare for 17 regular season games and then in the playoffs not prepare? What kind of nonsense is that? What the fuck? With intelligence like that, how in the hell did you even make the playoffs? You fucking twit. Alright, London Bulldogs again will become the St. Louis Bulldogs once the season cycles through. St. Louis Bulldogs staying in the East. 135 million in cap space. They're not a bad overall team. Look at that. They're recommending middle and tight end. Look at that. Tight end. Dallas Crestwood, Slinky Watts, both humans. Gunnar Durango, a human. So they're recommending some human players. What I find interesting about this is there's a lot of guys here lower. Like not even first round picks. Because remember, our first round 16 or less. They're recommending one guy in the top 16. It might. But I mean, we should be able to see who's already voted. I mean, that's true. We could see what they look like, but they might actually announce them then. That's a good call, Jax. Alright, moving on from the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs. If you're still here, give me a holla holla in that chat. Alright. Desperados, the current defending Dominance Bowl champions and 3-time champions in 5 years. The owner of 3 Simbardi trophies does not make the playoffs. They're sitting on 130 million, and as you can see, they're not a bad overall team. Again, another offensive lineman. Defensive tackle seems to be recommended a lot, and then we're at corner. I'm starting to see that a lot now as we're going through. A lot of teams struggling with the same areas, it seems. It's going to make the draft very interesting. I said it again, very interesting. I first caught on to the very interesting thing when Ed used to call wrestling shows. Every match was going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Oh, that's very interesting. And then I was like, man, he says very interesting a lot. And then I realized, so do you. And I was like, damn, we both do it. All right, on to the Gunners. Damn, Gunners only have 52 guys on the active roster. That means they have space. Like I said, they get to see what they look like. Only a 79 overall. What the hell? And he made the playoffs with an 11-win record, or 12-win record. Talk about knowing what the hell you're doing. Whoo! And why is Houston spelled HST? It's HOU. Madden. God. HST. What the hell? Oh my God. Alright, coming off the Gunners, we now have the Nighthawks. It's only one holla holla, huh? What the hell? Holla holla, baby! Oh my. Oh my! Yep, same shit. Just the other way around, but I wanted to make sure I went on the 90 so they could see it. They both have players to upgrade before the game, plus the practice, which means they might end up getting more upgrades. Damn. Just right here on paper, you think the Nighthawks should destroy them. They've already beat them twice. They should mangle them. Beat them by 4 points in 2 games. And all of you pretty much have the Gunners winning. Hell, the Gunners were even picked to win the freaking championship. So they're getting a lot of love. Luis Sanchez Cross must be happy with that. For those of you not familiar with the name, that's the owner of the Gunners. Alright, to the Dreadnoughts. That means we only have 1 or 2 teams left. I think it's 1 or 2 teams. I think that's about where we're at in the list. Top player, Peter Ford. A corner with only 2 interceptions, but he's got 10 deflections. What the hell did I just do? Oh, I clicked on that. Huh. Alright, to the next one. 15-2. Unreal. Yep, last one is the Aviators. And they did not make the playoffs, so they're going to get to see their recommendations for right now. Quarterback. I think that's the first time we saw a quarterback. From Danny Frost, Mickey Utah, Cooper Matthews, and they're saying Danny Frost is the #1 guy, and the #2 guy, and the #3 guy. So the top 3 guys on the board are supposed to all be quarterbacks. Oh shit. Where are the Aviators going to go? And again, everybody's going to have different needs. You want a tall guy, small guy, big guy, fast guy, puzzle piece guy. Everybody's going to have a different strategy. So Frost might be the #1 pick, supposedly, but he might not fit the Aviators at all, and they might go a different route. That's going to be fun to watch. And the Aviators, ladies and gentlemen, don't pick. Let me double check this. Make sure I have this right before I say it. But the Aviators pick 7th. Is the #1 overall quarterback really going to slip to 7? Or one of those other teams take a quarterback? That's going to be interesting. Alright, let's take a look at the awards. We'll browse through them really quick. The yearly ones. We'll get into the other ones later. Because again, I don't think these were handed out. We'll just get into the main 2 here. The MVP. Right now, that's your MVP, Luke Collins. Then we got Cardin. Then you got Terrell Cherry, Carrera. Look at this. Condors, Steamers, Condors, Condors. Condors have 3 of the top 4 MVP voters. Then you got Matlock of the Bulldogs. Back-to-back Lumberjacks here. An Aftershock. Then you got Duncan Holland and Goldstein. 2 quarterbacks here at the bottom. Holy smokes. Randy Lucas, 67 overall. How in the hell is he there? I don't even know who the hell Randy Lucas is, to be honest. We're going to have to investigate that. Luke Collins, ladies and gentlemen, has over 20-some plus sacks. That's why he's right here. So I'm going to take a quick look at Luke Collins and Ray Lucas here in a minute. But going to the Coach of the Year, currently with the Steamers. Then you got the Condors, Nighthawks, and the Dreadnoughts, along with the T-Birds, rounding out the top 5. Shit. Randy Lucas and Carrera of the Condors. What the hell? Let's see how dumb this game is. We're going to go to the Condors real quick. I'm on the Cowboys. That's not it, you fucking moron. There we go. Condors. I think he's a left end. Yes. Here we go. This is the guy leading the voting. As you can see, he's a superstar. 92 overall. Good googly freaking goo-goo. Ranked 5th. Are you shitting me? But we want to get into the stats and see what he's done for the season as to why he's the number 1 guy. There it is. 48 tackles, 7 for a loss, only 17 sacks. I thought he had over 20. No, I'm on Carrera. We went Collins. I'll get it right. Excuse me. Nobody even called me out on that. It's Collins, fat face. It's Collins. Come on, it's Collins. Come on, get it on the right guy, you dumbass. Are you kidding me? This guy's of normal build. Holy shit. 1 year in the league, 24 years old. Fuck me. There we go. 42 tackle loss and 22 and a half sacks. Has him ranked number 1. Shit, piss, fuck, cock, peeper, wiener, some shit. How's that go? It's shit, piss, fuck. No, I'm gonna get this right. Shit, piss, fuck, cock, pee-pee, wiener, butthole, wee-wee, suck, fart, fairy, hairy, poopy, scoopy, pee-pee, poopy, doopy, loopy, fuck nut. That's right. I got it. Alright. Let me go. Oh, fucking hell. Let me go to Lumberjacks. Lucas. Who the hell is Lucas? I don't even know. Is he a lineman? Is he a defensive guy? Hold on. Let's just start from the beginning. He's a quarterback. Who the hell is this guy all of a sudden? And where did these numbers come from? What the fuck? I'm confused. This guy didn't even play. Says Carolina. He played for Carolina. Why is he on Portland's team all of a sudden? And how did he get there? They wouldn't have released him. This game's weird. Alright, I give up. That I got to investigate. I'll figure that out. But alright, y'all. I'm going to wrap this up. Y'all enjoy your evening. If you need anything, the boards is where you get a hold of me the easiest anymore. Unless you have to call me. Of course, that's the easiest. And be active. I don't care if you're an owner, player, coach, fan, gay guy, straight guy. Right, Mark? Oh, shit. Let's have fun. Let's rock and roll. Let's kill it. Let's enjoy it. And recruit people. Recruit. Bring people in. Bring your friends. Bring your family. Like I said, get everybody you can here. Let's have some damn fun. But alright, I'm out. Y'all be safe. Later.